So esports and subscription gaming spaces for adults are big in East Asia and South Korea especially. What do
Yeah.
you think the strengths and weaknesses of that model are in the US?
When I say we want to bridge the gap, one of the biggest gaps is a digital divide. You're talking about if you look at the FGC, right, which is these are the largest tournaments outside of MOBAs, right? We're talking about Evo level, Vegas to Japan. The fighting game community is full of black and brown people, majoritarily. These are groups of people, these communities are so marginalized, they cannot afford $3,000 PCs. So therein already lies a disconnect. Unfortunately, some of these things are systemic and political. You have certain Asian territories that their government understands the reach and the grasp that gaming has to the entire demographic, so they're supporting it and they are contributing to why people can access games on a level that enables them to monetize it. So unlike the US, which by the way, the US was competing with Canada until recent now, China has surpassed the US in terms of revenues being generated with in gaming, the number of players, and a big part of that is societal. If you see that most of the players are from, they're from Korea, they're from London, they're from Germany, Sweden, these are now people that become your inspiration. You are now diving into what their lives are like, what they're doing, what's their trajectory in order to step into those roles. A big part of that is simply telling your parents, your support group, hey, I need this PC. I need this because this is the only way I'm going to be able to do this. And I live in a territory that supports my dream. In America, for one thing, this country is still learning gaming. It's like 4 decades old, but we are just now approaching an understanding of how it can be monetized, which is why everyone in America pounced on esports to begin with. Because as I said, they likened it analogous to the artist model: arena, artists on stage, butts in seats, tickets, sponsors, food, beverage. That's the model. And so they could immediately apply that to esports. And then they took the traditional sports model and said, we're going to apply this to esports. We're going to create teams and we're going to make these teams worth tens of millions of dollars so that we can franchise them, which, to Jay's point, now only lends itself to AAA games, which in large part just shines a light on development in the way that is not conducive to the actual point of why development can be so broadly monetized, it and why the opportunity in development matters. But can you grab this for me, please? But the so in terms of the strengths, that it's their territory. They have supported a entire system that supports the dream of people who want to play games competitively. In America, you just don't have that. Granted, we have teams like NBA 2K. Jasim, can you please go in there? Sorry. The NBA 2K League has a league. You can draft players, but they're making like 30 to 40, maybe $50,000 a year. We have some people that are, you know, I don't know, sponsored by people. Is it enough to make a living? I don't know. Maybe depending on where you live. But I think this is a weakness because I think it's giving people false hopes and dreams. I think the biggest weakness, honestly, is the lack of, hardware and software because you need both. And I think listen, I don't like blurring the lines. There are very pointed and acute lines between esports and development, and they are way over here. I want to bring them together. I want them to coexist because at the end of the day, the communities do need each other and they lend themselves to creating more opportunity when they come together. And there are ways to do that, and providing access and resources are generally the ways that those things can start to coexist.